And we are live. So, good morning, everybody. This episode is brought to you or powered by the University of Rhode Island. Think big, try, and do. Think big. Also, this episode is powered by Elevate Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo from Exeter, Rhode Island. Please check out that school and then try some classes. Your life will never be the same after you try the journey of martial arts. Today with us, we have Serge. So Serge is a great person. He's a very powerful athlete and also has a myriad of other talents, which we are going to talk about today. So let's
Hi, everybody.
Serge. Excellent news. So how have you been?
I've been fantastic. Oh, it's probably going a lot easier for me over here because I'm actually trapped in quarantine with my training partners. So I'm blessed to be able to do judo and train at home.
Okay,
how's everything for you?
That is great. So yeah, well, things are not so bad as well. So yeah, we have been having lots of Zoom classes at Elevate. So yeah, that has been helpful. I hope that everybody maintains the skills using those online classes.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge tool. Absolutely. Brett really does a great job. He's a fantastic teacher and he's very articulate. So even over online, he still does a great job in being able to break down techniques for you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. So we get lots of extra details these days. And then, yeah, that is something that everybody who takes the online classes highly appreciates, I think. So, yeah. And what's your opinion about if you do not have a partner, let's say, to train with, what would you recommend in this situation? Oh, no. We have a slight technical freeze.
Well, I would say important thing, running 3 to 4 days a week. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Just fine.
I'm living with a lot of people, so sometimes the Wi-Fi goes a little bad. So if it goes shoddy for a second, then that's the reason. But when you do not have somebody to work with, you definitely still have the ability to train efficiently. I think that definitely your base level of fitness is something that you need to work on all the time. And that's just, running every other day. And then calisthenics every day, push-ups, sit-ups, jump squats, lunges, just keeping your body moving. And it's really important, especially since we're cooped up in the house all day, that, all your muscles start to contract and you're not using your mobility as much. So flexibility and stretching is definitely crucial, especially for times like now when we can't, get on the mat and stretch at the beginning of class. It's easy to forget about doing at home.
Exactly. So in that case, one might take advantage of not having all the equipment, right? So, and then they will just pay attention to the body weight exercises, stretching, and mobility. Yeah. So, and then this is probably something that's going to be very useful in the long run, even if, or when hopefully we are back to having the equipment. So the bodies will be kind of feeling very good when the stretching is there. So I feel like, for example, massages, if you use a Team 10 or something like that, so that helps a lot to keep the muscles in the proper state, so to speak. So yeah, this is definitely something that should not be overlooked, especially now when there is no equipment, and then one can use body exercises or body weight exercises. Very nice. So then what about these solo drills, for example? For grappling arts?
Shadow uchikomi is what I practice mostly. I've also been running a Zoom class, and 20 minutes is usually designated to 10 minutes of calisthenics, 10 minutes of stretching, and then the other 20 minutes we spend doing going over technique, but also doing shadow uchikomi, which is just going in and out of your technique on your own. without having an uke available, but just, really processing the move in your head and thinking about what it takes, what the mechanics are of the throw that make the technique work, and then trying to apply that to the shadow uchikomis without an uke.
Right.
So that is something that I'd be willing to like demonstrate right now, what it is that I like to do, also. But
Yeah.
shadow uchikomi is definitely
Yeah, that would be awesome.
okay, cool. So one thing that's huge in judo is ashiwaza, and in grappling. I say judo, but I'm a judo player and a wrestler. So the foot sweeps, the foot techniques, the ashiwaza is definitely beneficial in both judo and in wrestling because it helps to set up a lot of your attacks, and it's very low risk. So one thing that I like to start off with is Dayashi Harai, which is advanced foot sweep. So it's whenever it's called advanced foot sweep because you're sweeping the leg that is advanced. So
Okay.
it is a foot sweep. It's very important with ashiwaza that you're using your hands. So your hands are really playing a big role with your foot sweeps. So as somebody starts to step forward and they start to transition their weight onto their front leg, you're going to cup your foot. So you bring your foot to the side so that you can catch their foot. And then you're going to sweep their front leg as they start to apply pressure onto the leg. So as soon as you transition that weight there, you're going to sweep with your foot and you're going to cup your foot sideways, right? So you want to use the bottom of your foot to kind of catch their foot. So what that does is when you do sweep, if they try to pull out of the sweep, like if they try to step back, you can just keep lifting your leg and driving with your hands to bring your opponent to the ground. So to practice on our own, we start hands, the sleeve pushing, and lapel hand driving up at the head, kind of turning the person's upper body. And then you're going to sweep with your foot here and just practice snapping your hands and cupping the foot. So this is Dayashi Harai. If I had an uke, I'm sure I could actually find somebody around the house to use. I could demonstrate for you what the throw looks like.
Yeah, well, that is excellent. So yeah, this is one of those solid drills, I think, that anybody practicing judo can use at home. And then yeah, it looks like it is it should be a very well coordinated movement. So, and then you don't need any equipment for that, apparently. So except your body. So yeah, that is definitely something to keep in mind. Yeah, and then if we talk about the frequency, right? So now that people maybe have a little bit more time away from their actual jobs, right? So they're mostly at home, confined, and so on. So yeah, how often should they practice those solid drills? So is it something that you would do every day for 15 minutes or as much as possible?
I think that if the more that you practice something, the better that you're going to be at it. And that is kind of the philosophy behind, training. Training is, conditioning your body every single day to get your muscles to memorize how to do a specific action correctly. So if you practice, even if it's just you did 5 of your favorite uchikomi, so you did, 5 dayashi, or you're doing like your forward throws, like morote. If you're just doing 5 of them, of your favorite throws a day, then that's better than doing, 50 one day a week, because you're constantly reminding your body, what the motions are.
Exactly. So, and then this virtually can be done every day. So like 7 days a week, maybe one day off, right? So when you have total recovery and rest.
Yeah, well, with the shadow uchikomi, it's not very like physically strenuous. It's more about just like getting your body used to how to enter into your throw. So you can do it every day, and you're not going to get fatigued. Whereas if you ran every single day, you might get fatigued. If you're doing a ton of calisthenics every day, you'll get fatigued. So it is important to have your rest day. But shadow uchikomi, you can definitely still do on your rest day. And rest days should be active, even though it's Sunday, it's a rest day for me. Even though I'm resting today, I'll still stretch just my body more mobile and some stretching. But you should definitely have an active recovery day where you're not just sitting around all day. You have to still keep your body going.
Exactly. Okay, well, yeah, that seems like a very, very nice approach. Yeah, and then that's something that can be tried by many people, not dependent on their level of physical preparation, I would say. So yeah, awesome. Well, active recovery it is. And so yeah, speaking of active recovery and then all the kind of things behind the training. So yeah, the important thing here would be diet, right? So as far as I know, so you study the art of cooking, right? So
Yes, sir.
how would you combine or how would you transfer your cooking knowledge, right, into your dietary guidelines for yourself, for example?
Have a bit of free time, and if you're an athlete, eating, trying to make weight, especially with sports where you have to make a specific weight class, now is a beautiful time to invest in yourself by learning just some basic cooking techniques.
Awesome.
And since we have some free time on our hands, that's just going to make your life as an athlete so much more enjoyable than just having, a plain salad every single day, or you're just eating egg whites in the morning. But you can start to mix different, you start mixing more interesting meals into your workout plan, or into your diet for your workout. But obviously, everybody's grandma has told them since they were a little kid, like, hey, you are what you eat. And
Exactly.
it is, so crucial for our food sustenance that we need to make the building blocks to grow our body. So, if you're eating good, you're going to compete good. If you're eating bad, you're going to see a difference in the way that you compete. So it is, a very, very huge part of productivity with your training is being able to nourish your body correctly. And, it's not as difficult as it seems to be. If you have like your rest day, during your rest day, you want to still be active. And a great thing to do would be able to prep some meals throughout the week that you can just slap on the stove real quick after you got all the ingredients prepped together. So mise en place, which is a culinary term, everything in its place, is very important with not just your cooking, but with how we live our daily lives to be successful in accomplishing our goals. So you have to prepare everything for success. So even with your diet, it's going to take a lot of preparation, but the actual cooking won't be so difficult once you've done it a few times. So preparing meals for the week, looking up online different recipes. I see that you do a lot with fusion and mixing different cultural cuisines together
Yeah,
to make
exactly.
these new flavors. That's huge. That is so awesome. And if you can be creative like that with good foods, then you're still giving your body nourishment and eating, but you're eating good and starve their body and to make weight. If you can actually have enjoyment in the food that you're eating by mixing these methods like you do, that would be ideal and give you a better mental approach to your competing. Because when you're training hard like that and you're not eating properly, or you're not eating with any enjoyment, it does take some energy out of you. So
Exactly. Okay. That's a very nice point. So, and I also heard somewhere that the worst diet is the diet which you cannot follow consistently. So, yeah, this is something that yes, you will hate, and apparently, so it takes the energy, right? So
absolutely.
to hate what you eat, so to speak, right? So, yeah, it's important to find this balance. And yeah, I think mixing of cuisines. So that was something definitely very useful because so since we just were talking about how you need to make something different, right, every day, or maybe every week you make some new dish, so that's also entirely possible, so that you are not bored by the food that you eat. And yeah, so this is definitely very important, and the fusion of cuisines will be good in this case. Or you might just alternate the meals. For example, one day you have some, for example, eggs and vegetables for breakfast. The other day it could be oatmeal and fruits. So, and you have the pause already kind of from one meal, and then you can like sort of look forward to that on the next day. So that's what something I found works for myself, especially if I'm limited in terms of ingredients. So yeah, but I can also try to be more creative and make something new. And yeah, so how would you become more creative about the food? Is it something that can be learned by the people, or you need to kind of have a talent for that, for the food
Well, it is
creativity?
definitely culinary is an art, culinary arts, and I do believe that there, you know, you can definitely put passion into your cooking.
Yeah.
But one thing that probably inspires you, I'm sure that it inspires me, is when you're cutting weight to try to make weight for an event. You know, when you're hungry, everything tastes good. So when you have like a little inspiration of
Oh yeah.
hunger motivating you, you can kind of look outside the box a little bit more to say, oh, maybe I can mix this here with this, and that, sweet and savory combination might give me something that is actually really good that I never would have thought of before. So you start, mixing things up that you wouldn't quite think about mixing together. Because just being hungry, you're like, I'll eat anything.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's a very, very nice approach as well. So what I also found, for example, yeah, speaking of sweet and savory, tuna coated with Captain Crunch, actually. This is
Really?
a very, very nice combination. Yeah, I saw that on the internet, and that's something I would like to give it a try. I'd like to give it a try because I just moved into the new house, and the previous tenants left lots of Captain Crunch behind. So yeah, this will definitely be experimented with. Or you can mix in into some kind of cookie dough and then have this as your cheat meal maybe once a week. So yeah, I
There
think
you go.
it should be okay. Yeah, so not so much of the processed food per week. So yeah, and then also, yeah, speaking of this hunger inducement, so to speak, right? What I found works for myself as well is the fasting, right? So for example, if it's going to be, let's say, Saturday, I normally go for like Sunday, hope probably once a month, I would fast for 24 hours without any food, right? So it's going to be only water. So, and then another time I tried also the completely dry fasting. So for about 24 hours, it was also good. And then, yes, you appreciate the food very much after you kind of get back to eating. So whenever your fast is broken.
Did you notice that you're even like when you're fasting, how your sense of smell is heightened as well?
The sense of smell, yeah, I never noticed the sense of smell sharpening. I think it's mostly when I think about the food. So yeah, those thoughts are very sharp, right? So, and the benefit here would be the concentration actually, which you get as a product of fasting, because you don't want to think about the food, right? And instead you kind of like steer your thoughts to something else, whatever it might be, some kind of like task in hand, maybe the training, right? Or science, whatever you're doing, studies, work, and so on. And then at least you take the food out of the equation and you think about something else, not the food, and then you can endure through this fasting period.
Yeah, a hungry belly is like a broken heart, I guess. Gotta keep
Yeah.
keep yourself occupied.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this is yeah, something that can be tried. And then I hear that people over 40, for example, should fast once a month, basically for 24 hours. So
Really? What were is that for like digestion health, or what would the perks to that be?
yeah, well, I think it's mostly to give your organism some rest from digesting the food, because
Mm.
apparently when you eat the food, right? So yeah, for example, after training, yes, you can replenish, or you will replenish your organism with all those nutrients, vitamins, and whatever the vital elements are there in the food, right? But at the same time, the organism will spend some energy to digest the food. And then if we think about that, so you kind of eat every day, right? And you expend that energy on the food digestion every day. But then when you have a fast, let's say once a month for 24 hours, you don't eat anything. It kind of gives the rest to your organism from digestion. And some people say that some systems are rebooted in the body. So that, yeah, basically it's because of the rest from the digestion, I think.
Yeah, fresh start. Don't have too much backed up down there. Sounds like hitting a reset button.
Yeah, that's right. So, and then yeah, it can vary from, I don't know, like 24 hours to some people go for 72 hours. That's kind of like a big fast. So,
Yep.
and then that apparently helps to eat up whatever was bad in your organism.
Well, nice. I can definitely see. I can definitely see how that would be beneficial.
Yeah. So, and then, for example, yeah. So, what else do we want to talk about? Actually, so yeah, cooking apparently is an art and a skill, right? So, and then, for example, the person who let's say doesn't know how to cook, what would be kind of the first step that they absolutely need to take, or maybe some steps that will kind of like usher them into the art of cooking?
Don't leave the kitchen while you're cooking. That's
Okay.
definitely like the first rule of thumb, because that's definitely how things get burned. I think that cooking is just you can teach yourself kinesthetically just by putting your hands on it.
Okay.
Keeping your heat pretty low, medium, low. I know a lot of people get impatient and they want their pan to heat up fast, and they just want to cook the food. But
Exactly.
take your time, enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, that is true. So yeah, and then yeah, it helps apparently. So if you find something, if you find some new recipe, right, which you're excited about, that will kind of motivate you to cook. And then if you apparently, so you need to also prepare all your ingredients, right? That's what you mean by that
Yeah, the mise en place.
French term.
Mhm.
Mise and place, or something like that. Pardon my French, right? So yeah, I can use it here quite legitimately. So yeah, that's what I found, and it works for me as well. So in my opinion, if I want to make some, let's say like a curry, right, that would consist of many ingredients, I would take out all the vegetables and meats and spices, put it on the table, and then I would also have the cooking utensils like knives and other things, bowls, and then also the trash bowl. So yeah, that's very good. So that would be my idea of preparation, and it's something that kind of eases the way, slides you into the cooking process very nicely.
Yeah, I think that you are like 100% right. That's definitely going to be one of the first things that you teach somebody is how to just prep a little better so that the operation just goes more smoothly. Because if you're running in the fridge 20 times for ingredients, then you're kind of going to be scattered all over the place. So yeah, get everything ready
Exactly.
beforehand that you think you might need. Most recipes will tell you what utensils that you're going to need, and then also what ingredients you're going to need.
Yeah,
Uh, so just keep yourself prepared.
exactly. And yeah, perhaps that will take about 21 days, right, to develop the habit of cooking in this instance.
Mm. Yes, 21 days to establish a habit or break a habit.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then looks like it is possible, right? So yeah, this rule of 21 day is applied to like cooking skills as well.
Mm. Yeah, and the more that you practice, just like with the martial arts, the
Yeah,
better you're gonna be.
Exactly. So yeah, we all can cook and cook in a healthy way, right? So and so apparently, so yeah, the idea behind healthful nutrition is that it helps your body to perform well in various, let's say, physical activities, right? Whatever it might be. What about the connection between the food that you eat and the mindset that you have? So is there a kind of any link that we might establish, or it's more in some kind of spiritual plane, so to speak?
Well, I think that everybody connects to food differently. There are foods that we've had, maybe something that your mother made for you as a kid, um,
Right.
that really comforts you. And, I think that maybe psychologically, before an event, if you have some sort of a comfort food, just to bring your nervousness down a little bit. Like I have a couple friends that have specific things that they like to eat. Like one
Ah,
friend always eats a banana before he fights, and one friend always has peanut butter before he fights. So,
okay.
that's definitely something that people do, and they say absolutely works for them. So I think that you can absolutely use foods for a mental boost as well. And even caffeine as a stimulant. I know that a lot of people use caffeine before they work out to bring their heart rate up a little bit. So
Okay.
maybe having a cup of coffee before you fight wouldn't be unheard of either. But yeah, everybody connects to food differently, and there's got to be ways that you can motivate yourself with food, or maybe even after, maybe even conditioning yourself after like a really hard training session. Maybe you have, a milkshake or something like that to be like, oh, yourself a pat on the back. There's nothing wrong with that either. Just as long as you're not down in milkshakes after every workout.
Exactly. Okay. Well, yeah. So in that case, yeah, some even comfort foods, right, in moderation can bring you to the good mindset, right? Even if we speak about the competition and yeah, some strenuous activities that we face in instances of athletic life, for example. So. Okay, so there is a little bit of the freeze. Can you hear me, Serge, right now?
Yes, I. Sorry, it just skipped.
Ah, okay, awesome. So, and we are back. All right. So I was just sipping some coffee.
My
Okay, well,
apologies.
that is awesome. Yeah, caffeine. That's something that helps a lot for the. I think before the workout, as a pre-workout supplement, right? You can just have a cup of coffee or tea, maybe. So that works for me. It's less caffeine rich, and maybe you will not have those jitters, which in many people can happen, right? So that's just the reaction of the body. And also, for example, if there is, let's say, the competition day, right? So would you advocate, for instance, granola bars uh, during the event, right? So because, for example, like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament can take like about the whole day, right? So then you need to eat something.
Yeah,
So,
you're definitely gonna need some complex carbohydrates.
mhm,
And granola would give you that complex carb. Sweet potatoes, fantastic. Oatmeal's fantastic.
nice.
So yeah, you're going to need to give your body fuel through the day. So it's definitely important that you eat, and also it's important that right before your match you get some sort of simple sugars in your body so that you can
Ah, okay.
use that energy immediately. Because sugars will be absorbed into your body in your stomach. It doesn't have to make it all the way to your intestines. So they'll diffuse through the lining in the stomach, and you can use that energy pretty instantly. So before your match, if you have a piece of fruit or a Gatorade, usually I
Nice.
don't say drink Gatorade while you're training because there's so much sugar in it that it's not really going to benefit you there. But during competition day, it's fine to have some sugar to give you the
Hmm.
energy immediately. But one thing that's so important about competition is aside from the eating aspect, is that it's not, it's not what you do on that one day. It's what you've done the other 364 days of the year. So if you have been eating
Exactly.
properly throughout that whole time and training properly, you should have the confidence and the faith in yourself that you're going to go in and your body is going to just do the job for you, because that's what you've been doing every day, is training yourself to compete. So competition day, just have the confidence in yourself that, nobody knocks me down, nobody's taking me off of my feet, and that you own that building. Like, you're going there to do a job, and you've trained all year to do that job, so just go get it done. Definitely confidence in yourself is huge, and you build that confidence up in yourself through the efforts that you've put in throughout the year up until that point. So you have to know when that point is. You have to know that your
Exactly.
goal, definitely plan to achieve your goals.
Okay. Yeah, that is a great point. So in that case, we need to think about the competition. That is something that will kind of let the compound effect of your training shine, right? So there's going to be some day, let's say at the end of the year, when you compete, and then all the other days before. So that's when you also need to be focused, and that's what essentially will contribute to your performance at some competitive event. Okay, yeah, that's a very, very nice point. So so yeah, for me, I think so what I noticed at the competition, it was sometimes hard to eat. So that's probably because of the kind of worrisome mindset, right? So, and apparently, so yeah, if you cannot eat, then you will not perform that well. So yes, if you have worries, right? So on the day of the competition, so are there kind of any ways to alleviate it, or it's kind of the result of the preparation which you were doing before the competition, and you should have been doing better?
Well, everybody kind of knows what flight response is. Your hands go cold, you get sweaty, and
Yeah.
it's natural to have that reaction physically. And I don't think that you're going to run into anybody that's going to tell you that they're not nervous before they fight, because it is nerve-wracking to get out there and compete and put yourself on the line for competition. So I think it's important to understand that it's okay to feel nervous. It is 100% okay, and it's
Okay.
natural, and that's actually going to help you to be able to react more immediate. So your body knows that it thinks that it's in a life or death situation. So your hyper focus is going to be accelerated on what you're doing. So it's good that you're nervous before you go out there. Embrace those feelings that you have, and force yourself to eat some food so that you do have the energy to compete throughout the day. But on the other hand, a lot of people, they cut so much weight and they starve themselves that they're freezing things that they wanted to eat before they during the week, so that they can eat it as soon as they get off the scale. And you see it with wrestlers a lot. Well, they'll just gorge themselves off the scale, and then they go out to compete, and then they end up doing terribly because they just ate so much food. So it is important to
Okay.
not eat too much food on the day of. But you need to have a breakfast. You need to have a lunch, some snacks in between, and granola bars, like you were asking earlier. Yeah, granola bars are fantastic. Keep yourself hydrated all throughout the day. As soon as you step off the scale, water, water, water. Pedialyte is
Awesome.
fantastic if you've been doing a water cut. I highly recommend using Pedialyte to rehydrate.
Okay. Well, yeah, that is excellent. So yeah, and then basically, so that is something that apparently will come with practice, right? So the more you compete, the more comfortable you'll be with this feelings of nervousness and like eating through the nerves, so to speak, right? So yeah,
Literally.
yeah, that's all about practice at that point. And yeah, so if we embrace the feelings, or as they say, embrace the suck, right? So there is such a phrase. Then yeah, we will be able to kind of like be more efficient at eating, fueling the organism, and performing like in the best possible fashion. Okay, well, that is quite amazing. So, and what else? Let's have a look. Yeah, so when we think about this competition mindset, right? So yeah, this is something of let's say high difficulty, right? So and this mindset, right? So can we apply this to broader situations in life, so to speak, right? So for example,
Absolutely.
yes, competition is one thing, right? So you're kind of on the mats, and then you compete in a particular sport, whatever it might be, BJJ, judo, or wrestling, right? MMA. And how can we like transfer those skills into the other life situations, right? So that is
Yeah.
kind of the thing.
If you can, judo and wrestling, you're learning how to compose yourself well under an immense amount of pressure, and that's something that we're going to encounter so many different times in our lives. Whether that be going out to a job interview, that's going to be nerve wracking. You're
True.
going to still
Yeah.
have to be able to compose yourself. Um, so any sort of public speaking, any sort of situation where you have to get up in front of a crowd of people and give of yourself, it's going to help you with being able to have some confidence in yourself. It's going to build your self-esteem, and it's going to build your confidence to be able to just get out there and put yourself on the line. Yeah, I think that judo and wrestling do so many, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu, grappling, martial arts in general, do so many more things for you than just make you tough. So the lessons that are learned in these sports are going to follow you through a lifetime to help you through adversities.
Exactly. Well, yeah, this is a very, very nice point. That's what kind of I experienced. Well, when I was comparing kind of two selves of mine, right, before the competing and then after I started the kind of competition career, so to speak. Yeah, things become much easier. So I kind of like perceive those various difficult situations at work, for example, in a much more relaxed fashion, I would say. So yeah, that definitely helps, and I think yeah, this is indeed a transferable skills, right? That will help in many situations in life, and with the goal achievement as well. So get out there, try the martial arts, and compete. So that would be the advice to you, dear listeners, from us. And then yes, your life will never be the same, so it will get to the higher level, I think. So what do you think before you start competing and then after you start competing? Where do you feel yourself better, so to speak? In which state of yours would you like to be?
Um, well, I'm not able to relate as well, um, because I've always been competing. I don't remember
Okay.
a time in my life. I was born into judo and wrestling and
Okay.
competition, so I don't have
Yeah.
the luxury to be able to look back and tell you how wonderful it was. I do know that I have seen I've had so many experiences that have helped me through life, but also to be able to enjoy life and learn a lot about culture through martial arts. Just with the amount that you have to train and the amount of different people that you're introduced to, you really
Exactly.
do mm, expose yourself to things that are going to make you stronger. How to when your body says wants to quit, how to push through those feelings of doubt. There are just so many things that martial arts give to you, other than physical health, mental health, being able to become more cultured, um, being able to have a close group of social interaction, being able to have a community that you are an essential part of, because judo is all about mutual welfare and benefit. So we're all there to help each other, and you're going to make connections through your dojos to more than just learning a technique, but to real world situations. If you need a carpenter or a plumber or an electrician, you're going to meet people from all different walks of life that are going to be able to help you, and you're going to be able to help them in more ways that you thought would even be imaginable, because you're
Exactly.
bringing yourself to a whole nother community.
Yeah. So you will greatly expand your network, right? And to some extent, some people say, well, kind of the dojo or the academy might become kind of the second family or something like that. So, and that is definitely true in many senses. Okay, well, so that's been about our regulation time, actually. So yeah, so we have gone through lots of interesting topics, and yeah, so we firmly believe that the information that you have learned, guys, today will be very useful and applicable in your life, and then you can just start acting upon that today. So yeah, because as I say, if you have some plans, act upon them. Do not delay. So yeah, this is something that we should keep in mind. So and also kind of like another thing. So what about the lockdown ending? Is it going to end anytime soon? Because we need to make the banh mi competition actually.
Yeah, hopefully so. We'll definitely have to see what the future has to offer.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be quite exciting. So yeah, in that case, so stay strong, everybody, during the lockdown. Practice solo drill exercises, even if you don't have a partner at your household, and your skills will definitely soar with time, and then you'll become very strong and happy. So yeah, Serge was with us today. Thank you very much, Serge, for joining us and sharing your wisdom along many planes of life.
Thank you so much, Oleg, and thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to a bit.
Excellent. All right. So, and until then, we bid you a farewell and wish you a happy Sunday from Rhode Island.
Take care, everybody. Stay safe. It's been a pleasure.
Take care. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.